Hey guys, Tarke here, and in today's video I'll be giving a quick rundown of the patch notes for 3.18. Now obviously there aren't any balance changes or new skill gems, these are some pretty light patch notes, but still I've quickly run through them all and pulled out the most important ones in my mind. So, we now have Atlas Keynotes. We will see some changes in terms of the Atlas skill tree, but they haven't detailed everything in there, so we kind of just need to wait and see on that one. We have 7 new Uber bosses, which are accessed through these new keynotes. We also haven't seen all of the keynotes. Once we've seen them all, I'll make a video talk about that. They've buffed Eater of Worlds and Searing Exarch baseline to be more threatening, which is good in my opinion. They were baseline kind of boring outside of their immediate like one-shot style abilities. They've buffed the Black Star Fire Beam to be more threatening. They've buffed Infinite Hunger's melee attacks, but nerfed the monsters who also attack you in the Swamp phase. They've buffed loot in general from the new bosses. Not only do we have a whole bunch of new unique items, but they've also buffed the availability of Eldritch currencies and items from those bosses, with even more specific unique items coming from the Uber-only versions, which you can also spec into from the keynote, which further increase their loot. Eldritch Alters have been rebalanced with more meaningful downsides and a wider reward pool. This will be a nerf for the most, I imagine, most likely a nerf overall. Currently with Eldritch Alters, you could just stack all of them, no worries. I imagine what they want more so is a situation where you cannot just take every node for free, getting just free things. By having a wider reward pool, you're unlikely to just get like 50 scarabs. We'll just have to see how wide the reward pool is, and if we're still only having like premium level rewards in that pool. If we're getting less scarabs, we're getting more powerful things in terms of, I don't know, lots of other attractive currencies, other maps, fragments, or like high roll uniques, etc. Still great. If they just fluff it out with loads of random 5 links, obviously less attractive. Speaking of Eldritch Alters, the Burning Ground has been nerfed, and also they've changed how Burning Ground damage is calculated generally across the entire game when it comes from, for example, the Burning Dog monsters, etc. Maps can now have multiple influences, which will be really good because running Shape or Elder influence on 3.17 was pretty weak because you were giving up altars. Now you could have altars plus Cirrus Conqueror stuff plus Shaper Elder stuff, which is kind of fancy. Doriani's and Vinctar's Square have been removed off the Atlas, making completion easier in SSF or people who don't like to trade in trade leagues, and their points have been moved to Black Star and Infinite Hunger respectively. So same level of points, but now you don't need to be doing weird maps to get all of those points. Operative Strongboxes are now weaker outside of red maps. They've lowered the upper tiers of scarabs available in yellows and white, so you can't just power farm white maps and get wing scarabs. You need to be doing red maps for that now. Sextants and Voidstones affect Shaper Guardians and Val Temple maps. I actually found Val Temple maps quite rewarding and fun in SSF last league, so being able to further juice up Val Temple maps would be quite interesting. They have added a bunch of new maps and removed a bunch of maps. Mentioning some favourites are Haunted Mansion, Iceberg, and Channel, which are no longer part of the map pool. Humility has been moved to drop in Frozen Cabins because we can no longer farm them in Channel. They've nerfed the influence items that you could get from Expedition. Expedition was one of the best ways of getting influence items. It went from 35% to 20%. And there's been multiple Grasping Vines improvements from map bosses specifically, but also just Grasping Vines baseline. It is less punishing from a movement speed point of view, so hopefully it'll be less frustrating as a mechanic when you do run into it. The map mods this league, you have Fortune Favors the Brave, Breach at 2 Chaos Orbs, giving you 1 Breach. Anarchy at 2 Chaos Orbs, giving you 3 Rogue Exiles, which is potentially quite strong if you do a Rogue Exile heavy Atlas tree. Essence still, for 3 Chaos Orbs, get 3 Essences. Very strong, obviously, with Essence nodes. Domination for 4 Chaos Orbs, you get 4 Shrines. Very good if you're doing the whole Gull meme. Metamorph for 5 Chaos, you get 1 Metamorph monster. Harvest for 12 Chaos, you get Sacred Grove. And then Delirium for 16 Chaos, you get a Mirror of Delirium. Very light patch notes because, again, no major balance changes, but hopefully this means that 3.19 will be pretty heavy when it comes to gameplay balances at large. Let me know what you think of having a smaller, more trimmed down set of patch notes. Are you okay with this kind of system? I'm Tarke. Have a good day. Bye-bye.